Hey, welcome to Bloom Yoga and Fitness. I'm Sarah, and we're here for another Saturday Slow Flow. We've got our mat, and all you really need is a block today. If you don't have a yoga block, just maybe grab a chair and put it towards the front of your mat or a stool, something where you can reach down and let the ground come up to meet you. We're going to be using it for half moon, which don't freak out about it. Just we'll take it step by step and we'll get there together. Throughout today's practice, I'm going to be offering you 3 different variations of each pose, and we're not doing a lot of poses. So if at any time I give you a variation and it's not working for you, please feel free to go back to one that we've done before. As always, this is your practice, so please listen to your body. Take what you need, leave the rest. When you're ready, meet me on your mat and we'll get started. All right, so we're going to start down on the floor on our backs today. So meet me down here, bringing the soles of your feet to the floor and walk them a little wider than your hips, letting your knees fall together. And your knees might touch and they might not. Your hands can rest on your stomach or at your sides. Take a deep breath in with me. And exhale, let it go. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, do that now. If not, maybe you soften your gaze looking down at the tip of your nose. And be here for a moment. Take another deep breath in. And open your mouth side out. One more time, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. I invite you right now to just make a decision to be here, to work on feeling the connection between your body and your breath and your mind. And give yourself space to work through that. From here, you can keep your eyes closed if you like, or open them and look at me. We're just going to walk the feet back in line with the hips, knees still pointing towards the sky, and bring your hands to your lower belly. Thinking about that cat-cow motion, we're going to take a breath in and lift your back off of the mat. So we're finding an arch in the back. And as you exhale, press the back into the mat. Maybe find a little tuck of your hips. Again, inhale, lift. And exhale, press the back down. Find your connection here with your movement. So moving the back and the core and your breath. And see if you can connect those two together. Inhaling, your belly softens, your back arches. And exhaling, your core engages to press your back down onto the mat. Keep breathing through this, keep flowing, and as you flow, see if you can make the movements a little bit slower, a little bit smaller, so that eventually you find a spot right in between the two extremes. So your back will land, maybe not so much pressing down into the mat, but it's also not arched. You feel strong and secure in your core without overdoing it or underdoing it. From this nice neutral position, we're going to bring the hands down to the floor at our sides. And as you inhale, think of curling your back up off the mat. So starting with the hips, press the hips up And then maybe going all the way up to your shoulder blades, lifting up, squeezing the glutes. And we'll exhale to reverse that motion. So starting at the top of your spine, pressing each individual vertebrae down. Inhale at the bottom. And we'll exhale, press down, lift the hips. Turn on the glutes. Think of squeezing the heels up towards your shoulder blades without actually moving them. Exhale back down. Last time like this, when we get to the top, we're going to hold it this time. So inhale, lift, and hold. Take your hands down at your sides, press your palms into the floor, press your feet into the floor as you think of dragging your heels up towards your shoulder blades and your shoulder blades down towards your heels, and feel everything turn on and connect. 2 more breaths, really working here. And last inhale. And exhale it all the way down. From here, we're going to turn onto our side. Either side works. We'll switch and do the other side in just a second. Come up onto your bottom arm, forearm. Bring your elbow underneath your shoulder. And then with your bottom leg bent still and your foot behind you, we're going to extend the top leg long, coming into a modified forearm side plank. So when you're ready, we'll inhale, lift the hips up off the floor. You can keep your right hand, your top hand on the floor or on your hip, whatever works for you. We're just being active here, finding our connection before we start moving. So squeeze your glutes, lift up. We're working on that side, the obliques. Lift, take 1 more breath. And now moving with our breath, we'll inhale to lower down slowly, tap your hip on the floor, and exhale to press it back up. 2 more times. Inhale down. It's like we're moving through molasses. And exhale up. Last time, inhale down. Exhale up. We'll hold here. Stay right here, or maybe you lift your top leg and then lift your top arm up towards the sky. Deep breath in. And exhale, gently release down. We're going to transition to the other side, moving onto our stomachs. So come down onto your stomach on your forearms, and then roll onto the other side. And again, elbow underneath your shoulder. Press your bottom hand into the floor. We'll keep the bottom leg bent, extend the top leg, and when you're ready, inhale, lift your hip off the floor. Keep the right hand on the floor or on your hip. Find your connection. And maybe your connection isn't so much thinking of turning on the core as much as just tuning into how your body feels here. Take a breath. Exhale it out. And now we move. Inhale, drop that hip down. Tap the floor. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Last time. Inhale down. And exhale up. Hold here. Stay here, or add on, lifting the top leg, lifting the top arm. 1 more breath. And we'll exhale to lower all the way down. So from here, come back onto your stomach. I'm going to flip around. You can stay where you are. Come onto your stomach. We're going to move through a little cobra flow. So on your stomach, we'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders, hug the elbows in, and we're going to inhale to lift up just a little bit through, engage the back, lifting the shoulders and the chest up off the floor. Keep your neck in line with your spine so your gaze is a little bit out in front of you on your mat. And while we're here, we're engaging the upper back and the glutes. So think of squeezing the glutes, lift the upper back. And then as a little test to make sure we're using those muscles, try lifting your hands up off the mat and see if you stay right where you are. If you need to come down a little lower, you can do that. Take one more breath. And we'll exhale down. And on an inhale, lift back up. We'll flow now. Exhale down. This time maybe you press your hands into the floor to lift a little higher. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. And exhale down. From here, inhale to lift up as high as you want. So you can keep it low, you can press high, and you can stay right here. Or maybe we add on by pointing the right toe, lifting that foot up towards your glute. Exhale it down. Inhale, the left foot points and lifts towards the glute. Exhale down. One more on each side. And now both feet together. One more time. Awesome. Release the legs. Release your face down towards the floor. We'll curl the toes under. Hug the elbows in towards the side. Press up to hands and knees. And then we'll send the hips back and press all the way up, downward dog. So when we get here, let's build the pose and build our connections. Hands are on the floor, about shoulder width apart, maybe a little wider, pressing your palms and all your fingertips into the floor. Hugging the elbows in. Make some space along your sides, and if you feel the need to, maybe try bending your knees and see if that allows you to open up through the lower back and the side body. Let your head hang between your biceps. Your heels can be as far off of the floor as they need to be. Take one more breath here. And then we'll flow by straightening one leg and bending one knee, and then switching sides. And make this your own. So what I mean by that is maybe you make these big, huge movements where you're turning your hips to the side and feeling that stretch along the outer body. Or maybe you keep it more facing straight ahead, whatever feels right for you. And when you're ready, we'll lift up onto our tippy toes, press the heels down towards the floor. Find that downward dog one more time and stay here, or we inhale, lift the right leg up behind us, three-legged dog. Exhale it down. Switch sides. Inhale, the left leg goes up. Exhale it down. Inhale, look forward, and we'll walk our feet up to meet our hands. Take as many steps as you need to. Lift up off the floor with your hands if you need to. And we'll forward fold. Find your ragdoll here. And what I mean by ragdoll is our knees are bent pretty deeply. We're just hinging at the hips, but also just letting our head hang down, finding a rounding in our spine, and our arms hang loose or rest on the floor, or you grab opposite elbows with opposite hands. Breathe. From here, drop your hands down. We're going to lift up halfway. So as you inhale, lengthen through the back. You can keep your knees bent if you need to. And fingertips come to the floor, your shins or your thighs. We're just looking for a nice long spine. On your next exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale, lift up halfway. And we exhale to fold. Stay here in this forward fold, or maybe you wrap your arms around your legs and use that bind to deepen the stretch a little bit. Letting the head hang down. Take one more breath. Exhale, release your bind if you took it, and we'll inhale to stand all the way up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and find your mountain pose. Coming in now to our balancing flow. Grab your block. We're coming into half moon. So with your block or your stool or chair, if you don't have a block, we're going to take it, if it's a stool or chair, just set it in front of you far enough away so that when you lean forward, hinge at your hips and lean forward, your hand can rest on it. If you're using your block, you're going to take it out in front of you 6 to 8 inches and then slightly out to your side. And we'll start on the right side, so slightly out to your right side. And if it's not in the right place when you get into the pose, you can always move it, so don't worry about that so much. Okay. From here, we will shift our weight into our right foot, and we're going to let the left leg lift up behind us as we hinge at the hips and reach for your block. Okay. We're in a little bit of a warrior 3 variation right now, so flex your left foot. Hand is on the right hand is on your block, and we're going to think of opening our hips out to the side. And you might just stay here, hand on your hip, or you might lift the top left arm towards the sky and breathe. If you fall out, shake it out and come back in. One more breath. From here, we move. Take your time. We're going to inhale, knee to elbow, left elbow to left knee as we turn our hips back towards the floor. Squeeze it in. And then we exhale to open back up. One more time. Knee to elbow, squeeze. Exhale, open up. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, bring the left foot down to the floor. Stand up. Take a second. Regather yourself. We have one more little addition to do. So if you need to shake out your right leg, go ahead and do it. Take a breath and let it go. And then here we go. So option to come straight back into that half moon pose we just did. And maybe this time you add on by slowly, slowly, slowly looking up towards the sky. Take your time there. As you move your head, your center of gravity kind of shifts, your perception of it. So take it as slow as you want. Your other option is sugar cane. So we'll come into half moon first, and then we start by bending the top leg, reaching for that foot, and then kicking that foot into your hand to find a little bit of a back bend. And like I just did, don't be afraid to lose your balance and fall out. One more breath. And we exhale to let it go. Stand up, shake it out. Switch your block to the other side. I'm going to switch what side I'm on so I can still face you. And then we begin again. So this is our last little bit before we come down and find some stillness. So stick with it. We're almost there. Your block is out in front of you, slightly to the left. We'll shift our weight to our left foot and then begin hinging at the hips, reaching down for the block. Flex your right foot, and when you're ready, begin to open your hips and your toes out to the right side. One side might be very different than the other, and that's okay. Maybe you lift your right arm up towards the sky. One more breath. Exhale it out, and we move. Inhale. Right knee to right elbow, turn your hips towards the floor, squeeze. Exhale, slowly open back up. Again, inhale, bring it together. Exhale, open back up. Take another breath here. Exhale, bring it down. Okay, shake that out. We have our last little challenge. So make your choice. Whatever you did on the other side, try to do it on this side again. And if it doesn't work out, we adjust, we modify, but we'll try it first. Maybe you surprise yourself. Okay, so take a breath in, let it go, and we hinge. Find either that half moon and maybe glide your gaze up towards the sky. Or maybe you go for the sugar cane again by first bending the top leg, reaching for that foot, and then kicking the foot into the hand and finding a little back bend. One more big breath in. And exhale with control as much as you have. Release that foot down, set your block out of the way, and come all the way up to standing. Reach the arms overhead. Bring your hands to your heart. Okay, from here, we'll inhale the arms up one more time. Exhale, find your forward fold. We're gonna step the left foot back, bring the knee down to the floor, and then shimmy your right foot out to the side, swing it back in line. So we're now on our hands and knees. And however you would like to get to a seat, go ahead and do it. I'm just gonna cross my ankles behind me and then walk back to seated. So from here, seated, easy seated pose. Bring one hand to your heart. Rest the other on top of it. Take a breath in, maybe roll your shoulders up to your ears. And as you exhale, let your shoulders fall. Let your eyes close or your gaze soften. And again, I ask that you tune in to how your body feels and how you feel in your body. And part of yoga is noticing and not judging. So maybe you finish this yoga class feeling deeply connected and whole and great. And maybe you don't. And there's nothing right or wrong about either of those things. It just is how it is. And a big part of yoga is learning to acknowledge that and take it all in stride and continue going. Take a big breath in with me. And as you exhale, bow your chin to your chest. Thank yourself for showing up, for working on that connection. And I thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sharing your time and your practice with me. I hope you found some connection, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you back here next time.